Hello, everyone. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is Friday, November 22nd, 2019. It's been a few weeks since we last talked like this on the vlog, so there's quite a few things for us to cover, I would have to say. Quite a few things, some not as wonderful as others. I guess I'll start by saying today is the 22nd. That means it's 1 month from my birthday. I will be turning 29 on December 22nd, 2019. We will be streaming on that day as per usual, but I will note that this year my birthday falls on a Sunday, and we will likely be going out in an attempt to watch a movie, probably Star Wars, on by that time. So Star Wars releases like the 20th. So uh, wish us luck getting a ticket, and yeah. So anyway, that's a month from now. In not as great of news, if you have not gotten the news yet, Cole passed away on the 8th of November. It was the overnight hours going into the 8th. Somewhere, I would say after about 3 in the morning was when he had ceased meowing, at the very least. It was about 2:45 when he was meowing, woke us up, and by morning, he was no longer with us. Anyway, let's completely move on from that topic. I need to stop talking about that topic right now. So, we've started up the Pokemon Shield playthrough on stream lately, and it is preempting all of the current Factorio content, as well as the Morrowind content, until it is complete. I have currently, as of this video, gotten through the 5th gym, and we are at the point of going east of Hammerlock. We have just entered Route 7. So we've gone through like all of the various scenes that appear in Hammerlock once you get the fairy badge and are about to move on from there. So that's where we ended things off as of this last stream. And that's where we will be going forward on Sunday. This coming week is Thanksgiving in America, and I will not be working on that day. So I will not be streaming, I will not be transcribing, I will not be doing user tests, and I will not be doing the new thing that I'm also doing now, which is proofreading of scientific papers. So the Pokemon series, I am satisfied with its progress. I've done a lot of stuff off screen. In fact, just as a preview for the coming stream on Sunday, I surprise traded and got a Sobble. So now I have, through the surprise trading, gotten a Sobble and a Score Bunny. So I started with Grookey, and so now I have all 3 starters. Yay! I have all 3 starters through the surprise trade system in Pokemon Shield for our stream save. I now also have 2 Dittos because I surprise traded and got another Ditto. So, hey, 2 Dittos. Wonderful. Also got a Girder through a surprise trade, and therefore that evolved into a Conkeldurr, or however the heck you pronounce that. Though you can catch them in the wild area. You can actually catch Pokemon that evolve via trading in the wild area, just out in the open. So there's that. Shield has Gengar, I think, as an exclusive, while Sword has the Machamp. but I could be wrong there. I think it might just be a raid battle thing that is specific to versions there. Uh, but I know I've seen Gengar in the wild area thus far as being available. I've seen the Conkeldurr, or however the heck you pronounce that. Um, it's the one that holds the two beams of concrete. That's the one, the fighting type that holds the two beams of concrete in its hands. Um, what else can I say? I've definitely been enjoying my time. I've been breeding those starters. So I've gotten the 3 starters. I've been breeding the starters, and I've been surprise trading them out. So I have been doing what I said I had wanted to do in the streams. When I started doing surprise trading on stream, I said, while we may be trading in trash right now, once I get access to starters, once I get access to a Ditto to breed my starter, I'm going to breed a whole bunch of copies of my starter and surprise trade that out uh, to everyone to basically make up for the crap that you start with. Um, regardless, I now have a nice big back set of Pokemon that I've gotten in return that I will also be passing on. Gotten a few interesting new things, and that we will discuss on the stream on Sunday, and we will see what else I get going forward. But for now, that will be what I talk about with that. The Pionodon's tutorials are continuing. I just finished recording the tutorial for Circuit 3s. That will go live on Sunday, and I am now going to be changing the release schedule for the Pionodon's tutorials. I will now release only one per week going forward. There aren't as many tutorials that are left exactly. At bare minimum, I am going to need to take the week to schedule out and decide the specific tutorials that I still need to make going forward, because once we have Circuit 3s, at the moment, I only really know of Super Alloy and Helium. Helium into Super Alloy will be the tutorial that will come next after Circuit 3s. It'll come the following Sunday. That will be the new schedule. So every Sunday at 2 p.m. Will be the Pionodon tutorial video for the week, and that will be Helium after Circuit 3s. So Circuit 3s this Sunday, then Helium into Super Alloy, and we shall see from there. I will be focusing my efforts on the Circuit 4 chain into utility science. After utility science, I really don't know what I want to do. Clearly, we have to do space science after that. Uh, Specifically, we have to do quantum computing space science. Will be that's where we'll end things, right? Because once you have the quantum computing of space science, you're basically done. You're done at that point. You've won. Congratulations. But there are several processes that I did not cover along the way, including raw coal processing, including the oil sands processing. So there are certain ore processing chains that are optional, completely optional, that I didn't cover, that I will also need to cover. So there's going to be videos for that. We've got uranium processing. That's going to be a necessary part. So just going forward, there's definitely going to be uranium. There's definitely going to be stuff leading into intelligent units, aka Circuit 4s. There's going to be stuff leading into utility science. I mean, I could just do these as their own individual videos and then just be done with it, but either way, one per week going forward. We shall see when Pi Alien Life does actually release. That is soon, within the year, before the end of the year. as they say, we shall see. Alien life will change a lot, and I anticipate having to, or I will make videos, tutorials for Pi Alien Life as well, and that may be in addition to the standard tutorials going forward. So that is all of that out of the way. What have the statistics been looking like over this period of time? Not much, if any, growth on the Twitch channel. The Pokemon series has not been getting, like, views at all, but I did not expect that at all. I decided that I wanted to stream Pokemon Sword or Shield, and in this case Shield, because I just really enjoy Pokemon games. That's a decision I made because I enjoy doing that. I enjoy the series thus far, and yes, it has impacted the average views. We are at 4.2 average views over the last 30 days currently, but that will go down. We did peak on the 10th of November at 9.9 average viewers for that Python's stream. That is the highest I've ever had of average viewers on the Twitch channel. On YouTube, we have 667 subscribers as of this time of recording. Views over the last 28 days are up 32%. We're at 5.1 thousand. Specifically, 5,146 on views. 1.4K, they say here. It's actually 1,370 hours of watch time. And plus 19 subscribers. Down apparently 10% there. The watch time is up 18%. So, yeah, it's overall up, good, excellent. I like what I'm seeing over the last 28 days. I like what I'm seeing over the last 90 days. 90 days, views up 80% to 14.6K. Watch time up 178% to 4K. 4,028.5 hours, and then 69 plus subscribers, plus 393% over the last 90 days versus the previous 90 days, which is absolutely fantastic. And officially, the last 365 days versus the previous 365 days, views are up 5%. We are in the green now for the views for the last 365 days versus the previous 365 days. This is at 37,784 views over the last 365 days. We are at up 71% in watch time to 7.3K, and plus 90 subscribers, which is plus 260% there. The course of 2019 versus the previous time length from the start of the year to now in 2018, so it's really weird. We're all up there as well, up on all of that, which is fantastic. The top video for 2019 is technically still the first episode of the Harvest Moon Take 2, or Harvest Moon Special Edition, but video 1 of the Planetons Off the Rails series is nearly beating it. In fact, it will beat it. My Planetons Off the Rails at part 1, the first stream VOD, will be the most viewed video on my channel in 2019. That will be the winner. That will be the winner at its current speed. At the current rate of views, it will surpass that, and it will surpass that within like 2 weeks ish, something like that. It will definitely be there by the end of the year. Speaking of which, that video now has 1,282 views in total. It is over 1,000 views. It hit 1,000 views on day 180. So on day 180, I think, is when it sort of was crossing that line into the 1,000 range. It looks like officially it was 997 on day 180, and then 1,016 on 181. It is now day 197, so a little over 2 weeks later, and we've gotten over 200 views in like a little over 2 weeks, which is amazing. That means, yes, by very definition, that the rate of views has increased after passing 1,000 views. The rate of views has increased after passing 1,000, which I find to be very interesting. And I'll also note that the impressions match views. The rate of impressions is tied directly to number of views. So, bearing in mind that not all views come from impressions, I find this to be very interesting as a just in general point of trivia. Just the in general point of trivia, the impressions per day have risen significantly on this video. In fact, there are more impressions per day on average now than the initial day 1, day 2 spike that all videos get. So, like the first couple of days of a video releasing on YouTube is a big boost to impressions. The algorithm likes newness, so new videos get more impressions when they're brand new, first couple of days. Ideally, that's enough to give you that initial boost so that you get the views, but if you don't get the views out of those initial spike of impressions, as is the case with most videos in a serialized set of videos, it drops off after the first couple of days, but then it tracks with video performance. So impressions over time have increased with views. The rate of views has increased over time, and therefore, as has the rate of impressions. Which causes the other, I don't know. I'm just saying that they are correlated to each other. The impressions and views are correlated to each other for this video and for like the part 2 as well, I think. Videos with views have a correlated impressions to views. Oh, also, there was one other topic that I wanted to discuss today, and that is the idea that I had recently of making videos about Japanese learning, specifically my journey of learning Japanese. This would be a vlog series, basically, where I discuss the things that I've been doing and the topics that I have been covering on my journey of learning Japanese. Learning Japanese is something that I had worked on before I moved home. I had spent significant amounts of time doing lessons. I have several textbooks I haven't gone through all of them, but I have them. Uh, I know fundamentals of Japanese. I will say. I think I can make that claim that I know the fundamentals behind Japanese. I am not able to fully speak Japanese at this point. I'm not conversational by any stretch of the imagination. Um, I know a fair bit of kanji, at the very least. I know all the grade 1 kanji. I think I know all of the grade 2 or close to all of the grade 2 and 3. Like the vast majority of the grade 2 and 3 kanji and smatterings thereafter. I know a few hundred. A few hundred technically. How many like do I still remember after not looking at it for over a year? I've got no idea. So here's the thing. I haven't looked at Japanese in over a year in terms of trying to learn it. I've got an app on my phone now that I paid for that I'd done a long time ago when it was completely free, called Lingo Deer. Lingo Deer is a language learning app that when it launched, it was completely free for the Japanese course. The first Japanese course was completely free, but they have since added additional Japanese courses to this. And yeah, with Lingo Deer, they have a subscription option that you could pay over time to access all of the content of Lingo Deer, or you could do a lifetime subscription. And they had a lifetime subscription on sale for a while. So a little while back, several months ago, I ended up buying the lifetime access to Lingo Deer. And I have yet to actually go back and review the intro Japanese course and then continue into their following courses. But technically speaking, I did do on Lingo Deer the entirety of their intro Japanese course, the first Japanese course. Just like I have the book series called Japanese from Zero. I have the 4 books in that plus Kanji from Zero. Um, Granted, Kanji from Zero technically is a combination of what is taught in the main book line with a little bit more extra info added to it, just FYI. Uh, so I've got those. I went through book 1. I completed book 1. I've been I worked through a lot of or at least some of the problem sets in book 2. I did not go through all of the problem sets in book 2, but I have read the whole thing. So I have at least read through or skimmed over the content of the book 2 of Japanese from Zero. I also have Genki, book 1 and book 2, and the problem sets for book 1 and book 2, and a copy of the answers for book 1 and 2's stuff. So I have a complete set for Genki for level 1 and level 2. I also have like Japanese for Everyone. I really don't like that book. That was like the first one that I got. I don't like Japanese for Everyone. I also have a book that's like the complete kanji. I forget the name of it. Do I actually have a book? I have this book. So I have Learn to Read in Japanese, this is volume 1 of Learn to Read in Japanese. There is a volume 2 of this. I have a book of it's called the Complete Guide to Japanese Kanji. I have that as well. The Complete Guide to Japanese Kanji. I also have like I have some others as well. Like I have Remembering the Kanji book 1, Remembering the Kana as well, same book series. I have the Introduction to Japanese Grammar. It's sort of like a dictionary of grammar. And it's the level 1, the basics version of that. There's a basic, there's an intermediate, and there's an advanced dictionary of Japanese grammar. This is the basic. I have the basic one. Everyone should have that book, by the way. Everyone learning Japanese should have that dictionary of Japanese grammar. Book 1. It's this small yellow guidebook. I just need to use it. I just need to actually read it and use it. Let's see. What else do I have? I have these Japanese readers. That's the other thing that I have. I don't remember the actual name of these readers. They're Japanese graded readers. Level 1. I have the full set of the level 1 Japanese graded readers, which it's grade 1. There is a level 0, a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. And they get progressively harder with more kanji in them over time as you progress through them and as you progress in each set of volumes. But what these are collections of stories. Each story is its own book, and each volume contains several books, basically. That's what these Japanese graded readers are. And that's actually just what they're called. They are just called Japanese graded readers. And I have level 1 volumes 1, 2, and 3. There are also level 0, 1, 2, and 3, level 2, 1, 2, and 3, level 3, 1, 2, and 3, and level 4, 1, 2, and 3. I don't know if there's level 5 yet. But what I do know is that I am not ready for the level 2, 3, or 4. And I can sort of make my way through the level 1s. I can understand the level 1s, okay? I know enough to understand it. Not necessarily fully, like, I can't read it aloud fully yet, but I do understand the meaning behind it. That's where I'm at. So, after all of that dialogue there, I wanted to make a series of returning to my Japanese studies. I wanted to make a series about returning to the Japanese studies. I also have a lifetime subscription to the service called WaniKani. Took me a second there. There's a service called WaniKani, WANIKANI. And that service will teach you kanji. It is specifically a service for learning kanji through spaced repetition. And it's really good. It's really good. It gamifies the learning of kanji. That's the best way I can explain it, is that it gamifies the learning of kanji. So I have that lifetime subscription. I made it to like level 18. There's 50 levels. Or 60 levels, 50 or 60 levels, something along those lines. So, yeah, about that. I will reset to level 1. And if you do it from level 1 up to the top level without stopping, with completing all of your reviews as they come up, it takes a little over a year to finish completely with it. But here's the thing about that. If you do all of your reviews as you have them, as they pop up, you would need to do reviews a minimum of 3 times per day. 3 times per day, morning, afternoon, evening. Each time, eventually, like once you at peak, each one of those review sessions is going to take up to, if not more than, 2 hours. It will take a significant amount of time per review session at peak. So most people end up only doing one review session each day at peak to keep themselves sane. One extended review session to keep themselves sane. Realistically, or ideally, one would have the time to do all like 3 individual sets of review sessions. But it's not feasible for most people, including me. I don't think that I would actually have the time to really devote morning, afternoon, evening, 2 hours each time, up to 2 hours each time, or at the very least 1 hour each time, fully to do every single reviews as you approach peak. Peak, by the way, happens like in the level 20s, I think, somewhere around the 20s in the current set. And sticks there throughout the majority of the rest of your time completing levels. It will eventually dive back down as you burn kanji. So the way that the spaced repetition works, technically speaking, you see it, you do a lesson on it, you will do a review on it a few hours later. A few more hours later is another review. A day later, a few days later, a week later, 2 weeks after that, month, etc. And then, like, the biggest gap, I think, is like 3 months. You have to actually wait 3 months between, or it's, I think the total gap in time is like over 4 months. It's over 4.5 months ish that it takes at minimum to actually burn the first kanji of real time. So, and that's if you get everything correct throughout the whole thing. If you get it wrong, if you get the reading or meaning wrong during that course in time, you go back a step. So if you get something that you would otherwise burn wrong, you'll see it sooner, and then you have to wait another 3 months. I think you have to wait another 3 months before you can actually get another chance to burn it. So this takes time. Anyway, that's it for the Wanikani discussion. I want to get back into that as well. And I want to get into really reading this. And I want to get really into doing my lessons again. But I wanted to make content about it. Here's what I wanted to do. Finally, we've gotten here. It's been a long time. We've gotten to this point. I want to make content about my journey learning Japanese. And I want to begin this by basically reviewing what I know. We will pretty much begin from the beginning. We would begin from the beginning and go through until where I am now, and go through what new things I learn with each video. I don't know what the format of this would be. I don't know how often this would go up. It might be like the weekly review of Japanese studies with Otaku Showboat. Or Showboat Learns Japanese would be the name of the series, and it would be this weekly recap of the concepts that I've gone through and that I've learned that week. And the ideal situation here is what would this do for me? How would this help me? Well, the best way to learn is to teach. In case you didn't know, the best way to learn something is to tell it to someone else, is to explain the concept to someone else. So, in and of itself, by making videos explaining what I have learned over the course of the week, will reinforce what I have learned over the course of that week. So that's A, like big letter A. Number one, most important thing. What that would do is it would help to reinforce the concepts that I have learned over the course of that week, or whatever period when making that video. Number two, it would give me a reason to speak Japanese. That is the biggest pitfall that most people have when trying to learn a foreign language by themselves through their own motivation without any other outside influences or without like going to take a course, for example. Those who are seeking to learn Japanese on their own, do not say self-taught. Self-taught, you do not teach yourself. You learn by yourself. There is a distinction there. You do not know yet the content with which you are teaching yourself. It is impossible to teach oneself. You are taught by whatever resources you are using to learn. You are learning by yourself. So if you are learning by yourself through your own motivation, being taught by resources such as Japanese from Zero, George Trombley has a YouTube channel as well, Learn Japanese from Zero. That is what you're learning from. You are learning through Japanese from Zero. So don't say self-taught. They taught you. George Trombley has taught you through the resource of Japanese from Zero. This Roger Lake and Noriko Ura here for Learn to Read in Japanese. They are teaching you. You are not teaching yourself. These authors, they are teaching you. It's self-taught. It's not self-taught. It's self-learned. So anyway, digression. When learning by yourself and are not in a classroom, the biggest downfall that people have, the biggest pitfall, is that you don't have anyone to speak with. You don't have anyone to speak the language with. And if you are a severe introvert, as I am, you may also not wish to attempt to do any of the social things that would help you learn as well. So you may want to avoid direct social interactions with people who speak the foreign language that you are trying to learn. Now, by making videos, I can speak into a camera, and eventually maybe someone will be like, hey, that was good, or hey, that was really bad. You should not speak it in that particular tone or in that particular pronunciation. It sounds similar to something else that you really don't want to say. For example, just as an example, it would be a lot easier for me to speak into a camera in a foreign language, in my estimation, anyway, currently. So the number two there, the number one, teaching is a great way of reinforcing what you have learned. Number two, it is a way to force myself to actually speak the language, actually practice speaking in the language. So those are two really big things. And if we can make something that can be interactive through the medium of YouTube, that would be fantastic. And I would very much look forward to that. So let me know in the comments below what you think of having a series such as that, where we will basically learn Japanese together. I guess Otaku learns Japanese, and you can come along for the ride with me if you so desire. With that, I will end things off here. I would like to thank you all again for watching. This has been Otaku Showboat, and I will hopefully see you all next week.